Part 1, The Symptoms of Fatigue. Chapter 1, Loud and Proud. The Culture of Public Chaos. Why yelling, fighting, and showing out in public is no longer impressive. Not everything needs to be a scene. Not everything needs to be said. And not everyone needs to hear it. Volume has replaced value. If you're loud enough, nobody checks if you're right.
When ignorance grabs a microphone, walk into a gas station, stand in line at the DMV, sit on a public bus, you won't wait long before it hits you. That sudden spike in volume, tension, or vulgarity from someone who thinks the whole world is their audience. Someone yelling across the room about how they don't care who heard it. Someone on speakerphone, cussing, making threats, or retelling last night's drama like it's an episode of reality TV. Two people arguing in public, not whispering, not stepping aside, but turning the space into a theater and forcing everyone else to be part of the audience. This is what public life in inner cities has become: a performance, a power play, a non-stop audition for who can be the loudest, the wildest, the most unbothered. But the rest of us, we're not entertained. We're exhausted. We're not scared. We're annoyed. We're just trying to live in peace. Welcome to public chaos, where being loud is mistaken for being strong and attention is confused with respect. Once upon a time, people kept their business quiet. Disagreements were handled at home. Embarrassing moments stayed in the house. But now, the more noise, the better. The more eyes on you, the more you think you're winning. What happened to discretion? To dignity? To shame? What are you so loud about? There's a dangerous myth being sold in the inner city, and now, almost everywhere else. That volume equals value. That if you're loud, you're strong. If you're angry, you're honest. And if you're showing out, you're real.
But that's not real, that's reckless. It's not truth, it's just noise. I break this down even further in my upcoming book ICPP, Inner City Poor People. But let's cut the act. We all know damn well what I'm talking about. We've all seen the videos. At first, we laughed: ignorant drama in gas stations, fights in fast food joints, people acting like clowns in public. But how long can you laugh at the same circus before realizing the joke's getting old? It's the same trash behavior on repeat. Loudmouth, zero respect, always a scene, never a solution. Let's call it what it is. Ghetto fatigue. Sick of the noise, the nonsense, and the non-stop excuses. Sick of chaos being labeled as culture. Sick of ignorance getting a standing ovation while wisdom gets shut down. Sick of toddlers twerking before they can even speak. Sick of the fake moral shield of don't judge, while everything around us crumbles. Public fights aren't strength, they're embarrassing. And showing out for strangers doesn't make you real, it makes you ridiculous.
Because when everything becomes acceptable, nothing has value. And if we keep calling dysfunction our culture, then we're co-signing our own collapse. Most people aren't admiring you, they're avoiding you. They're making a mental note to keep their distance, to shop somewhere else, live somewhere else, send their kids somewhere else. And guess what? They're not wrong. Everyday scenes of disrespect are no longer shocking. A grown woman screaming at a cashier. A man yelling across a parking lot with his pants sagging. A young couple arguing in front of their baby. Teenagers blasting music at the gas station. Someone live streaming an argument like it's a badge of honor. This isn't just rude. It's exhausting. It's ugly. It's disrespectful. What should be rare has become routine. What used to be corrected is now cheered on. And what used to be shameful is now monetized, posted, and turned into viral content. It's a culture of chaos. And people are tired of it.
You don't get to this level of disorder overnight. It builds slowly, layer by layer, generation after generation. What fuels it is the total collapse of accountability. It's always somebody else's fault. The inner city poor have been told a lie that they are the only victims in a world full of injustice. It's not just that they feel wronged, it's that they've been conditioned to believe every failure, every mistake, every act of chaos is someone else's fault. Personal responsibility is treated like a threat. If you dare to question the behavior, you're met with a screeching mess in public, yelling about rights while showing none of the dignity that earns respect. This isn't just poverty, it's prideful dysfunction parading as culture. What's even worse is that this mindset gets passed down like a family recipe. Culture is not skin color. It's not a zip code. Culture is what we teach our children to believe, admire, and repeat. Some cultures raise their children on a foundation of hard work, strict discipline, and faith. Others raise them on blame, bitterness, and do what you want, no matter who it hurts. That's why you see such drastically different outcomes. You can't plant poison and expect fruit.
Not all cultures produce the same results. That's not racist, it's reality. A culture that celebrates education, family, and respect will rise. A culture that normalizes excuses, glorifies ignorance, and shames improvement will collapse. You don't fix this by ignoring it. You fix it by telling the truth. The ghetto isn't just a place, it's a mindset. And until that mindset changes, the chaos will continue. Loud, proud, and broken.
Why chaos? The chaos in ghetto culture isn't random, it's the result of deeply rooted patterns, broken values, and generational neglect. When dysfunction becomes normalized and destructive behavior is rewarded or ignored, communities spiral. Here's a partial list of the reasons this chaos continues to thrive. 1. Lack of self-discipline. Nobody told them, control yourself. They were raised on emotion, not restraint. Raised to react, not reflect. Raised to get the last word, not the best result. 2. Lack of consequences. Nobody corrected them when they acted up, and no one taught them how to take a loss with dignity. Now, every minor slight turns into a public spectacle. This is especially true with inner-city women, where the behavior goes unchecked. While men still face the risk of being called out or confronted by other men, many women operate with no boundaries at all, no filter, no accountability, and no shame. 3. Lack of community standards. Nobody said, that's not how we act around here. Because now, when someone speaks up, they get cursed out. People stop speaking up, and the dysfunction grows unchecked. People who were never taught to resolve conflict with words resort to volume and violence. People who were raised in chaos often think it's normal. But just because something is common doesn't mean it's right. Public space isn't your living room. We all have problems, and we all get frustrated, but dragging your emotional baggage through Target, Waffle House, and the gas station is not empowerment, it's entitlement. You don't have to fight every battle. You don't have to win every argument. What you need to do is respect the people around you. Because they're not extras in your drama. They're not your audience. They're your neighbors, fellow citizens, and children watching your every move.
ASY problem to fix. About 25 years ago, I was spending a Saturday with my son when we stopped at a Taco Bell drive-thru for lunch. I had already been frustrated with this location, because they had messed up my last 3 orders. This time, I checked before leaving. We ordered 4 crunchy tacos, but every shell was broken, and not even one had cheese. I told my son to come inside with me to deal with the manager. When he came out to speak with us, I pointed to the perfect taco pictured on the wall, then showed him the mess they handed us. Somewhere in the middle of that exchange, I lost my temper. I started yelling, loudly, right there in front of my son. Reflecting back on that moment, I knew I was wrong. I've talked it through with my son since then, and we've used it as a lesson. He saw what losing control looked like and why it didn't help. Because of that, I truly believe he'll handle things differently with his own son. The bad habit does not have to be passed down.
What real strength looks like. Let's stop confusing chaos with confidence. Strength is walking away from foolishness, not stepping into it. Power is controlling your emotions, not exploding in public. Respect is earned through peace, not through volume. Real men don't need to fight over parking spaces. Real women don't need to scream to prove their worth. You want to be respected? Learn to manage yourself. You want to be powerful? Learn to de-escalate, not detonate. Because dignity doesn't come from how loud you are, it comes from how measured you are.
Every family should work on turning the volume down. 1. Start with self-awareness. You're not starring in a movie. The people in line behind you don't need to hear your life story. The cashier doesn't get paid enough to absorb your rage. Tone it down. Control yourself. Show some dignity. 2. Teach your kids early. Everyone hates seeing adults acting up in front of children. Children are always watching. Change the way you act in front of your child, and he will do better in life. 3. Call it out. If someone in your family is dramatic and loud, say something. You don't need to shame them, but you do need to be honest. And if they want to grow, they need to hear the truth. 4. Create new norms. Bring back the basics, speak when spoken to, keep your voice down, handle your business privately, and respect shared space. These aren't old-fashioned rules, they're common sense.
Final thought. Even the smallest positive change can shift your entire future. But here's the hard truth, most people don't take advice. They cling to loser habits, and act like being stuck at the bottom is just their fate. They aren't interested in growth, they're comfortable with excuses. There's nothing powerful about being out of control. Despite what social media might glamorize or what some neighborhoods have normalized, loud doesn't mean respect. Public chaos, whether it's shouting across a store, fighting in the street, or turning every disagreement into a spectacle, isn't strength. It's stressful. And it's wearing people down. Childish behavior in adult spaces isn't bold. It's burdensome. It drains energy from the room. It forces innocent bystanders, kids, elders, working people, to absorb unnecessary conflict they didn't ask for. What once might have been a private issue is now everyone's problem, blasted on speakerphone, posted online, and replayed for entertainment. This isn't just an inner-city issue anymore. It's bleeding into schools, shopping malls, restaurants, workplaces, anywhere people gather. We're watching a breakdown of basic public etiquette, and the results are draining. People are tired. Tired of walking on eggshells. Tired of tension in places that used to feel safe. Tired of the culture of confrontation that now passes as keeping it real. Because when every moment becomes a performance and every disagreement becomes a scene, we lose something precious: public peace, mutual respect, and personal dignity. And that exhaustion we feel, that's what I call ghetto fatigue. Until we change how we act in public, stop rewarding dysfunction and start expecting better, the exhaustion will only deepen. Dignity isn't soft. It's strength under control. And if we don't reclaim it, we'll stay stuck in a cycle of chaos that no one truly wins.
Simple real-world solutions. 1. Model composure in public spaces. Every adult, especially elders, can lead by example. How you speak and act in everyday places teaches others what's acceptable. Be a real-time role model of calm and control. 2. Teach the difference between attention and respect. Help young people understand that being loud might draw eyes, but it doesn't earn respect. Respect is earned by how you treat people and how you handle pressure. 3. Create community norms. Organize your neighborhood to agree on simple standards: no cussing around kids, keep music down in shared spaces, handle disputes calmly. Post signs or host local meetings to reinforce expectations. 4. Establish a volume rule at home. What's normalized inside becomes what's accepted outside. Teach your household to resolve issues without yelling. Set a quiet tone at home that follows your family into the world.
We can reclaim public peace, but it starts with personal discipline. If we act like chaos is normal, it will stay that way. But if we build a culture of self-control, dignity, and mutual respect, fatigue will start to lift.